Welcome to Fintech Chatter News, presented by Tier 1 People, leaders in fintech executive search. Follow us on your favorite podcast player or Fintech Chatter TV on YouTube.
It has been a massive week for the Aussie Fintech industry. Intersekt 22 was bigger and better than ever. 2 days of conversations, insights, friendships being made, and connections being formed, along with all the reunions, laughs, hugs, and parties. Out of the hundreds of conversations I had, I managed to record a few to share with you. I speak to fintech legends, founders from the next wave of fintech startups, and also chat with some of the unsung heroes behind the scenes. Here's a chat with Christian Westerlind Wigstrom, CEO of Monoova, Australia's Fintech of the Year. Christian is also the proud wearer of Fintech's brightest assortment of chinos. I'm with Christian from Monoova. Christian, great to see you, my friend.
Likewise, Dexter. Always good to be here with you.
Yeah. How many times have we done this podcast now? I think you must be on... you must have the most appearances out of anybody in fintech, I think.
Look, it is not unknown that I like talking, and I like talking to you. So I think on the podcast, it's probably third or so time. Maybe
it's more than that. I think it's like 6 or 7 times
you've
been on now.
Sorry, that's maybe you're right actually. But then also, you and I have been to Intersekt a few times together now.
We have, yeah.
Which is sometimes where we do this, and it's a great space to be.
Yeah. So we're here 2022. I think first did 2018 was probably, I think, the first time that I would have done an Intersekt with you. Mm-hmm. Last year was kind of pretty legendary.
It really was.
Yeah, it was. And I was a little bit kind of hesitant, nervous that given some of the challenges that we've faced as an industry, that particularly in this last 6 months, that it would be really hard to top last year, and the energy might not be at those same levels.
Yeah.
But I walked in this morning and it was exactly the same as it was last year.
It really was. I'd say, I agree with you. I'm surprised in a really positive way by the optimism, the forward-looking nature of how people are conducting conversations. Of course, there are talks about funding and runways and so on, but as there would be always, we also know that there are a few people we probably would have expected here a few months ago who are not here right now. But having said all that, the energy is great. It's palpable. Frankly, the only caveat to that is coming in. I had a lunch outside and came back in, and there was definitely a lunch coma going on. Slightly quiet, but I can hear it's picking up outside already now. Look, it's great. Fintech, as I'm sure a lot of other tech industries and segments, is nothing unless it is forward-looking. If we were all about the past, look, we wouldn't be us. So the fact that we're here means that we all believe that there are lots of really great times coming, and you can tell. Lots of clever minds here, everybody thinking about what's going to happen around the next corner.
Awesome. Now, it's been a big week for Monoova this week.
Yep.
Not just Intersekt, but being in the AFR, some big things happening. Do you want to share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. We were in the AFR on Tuesday, and it probably prompted by a few different things, but one thing that's really big for us is the fact that our PayTo sandbox has gone live. So PayTo being this new and really, I think, transformative payment type, which, if anyone is interested, I could speak at length about. But it's a new payment type that I think is going to fundamentally transform how we transact, even if we have no idea and no interest in payments itself. A bit like tap and go. No one really understands something that works, but we all use it and we all understand it. And frankly, the only time we don't tap and go when we're in person is when something isn't working. PayTo's can have the same impact, and with Sandbox Live means that our clients can move lots of trillions of fake dollars and build the new way of moving funds. So that we were really proud of that. I was also personally really proud of the fact that AFR brought up my ice cream cone metaphor that I used at the NPPA Real-Time Summit in May.
So I love your metaphor.
I find it hard to talk about API-driven payments automation without it. It bores people to death if you don't make it some somewhat relatable. Ice cream cones turned out to be a relatable matter. So we had that, and we had our PayTo event on Tuesday. In many ways, at least from a new perspective, sort of starting Intersekt. We had lots of good people there.
The legendary Monoova drinks.
The drinks are alive and well. It was a great event. It was really fun.
Now it has been a bit of a tough year. A lot of your clients, you're kind of in areas that have been finding it maybe tougher than others. How's kind of Monoova finding this year, and what's your kind of sense as to what the mood is right now and what we can expect business wise?
Yeah, it's no secret that Monoova has been serving the digital currency industry for 5 years. There are some spectacular ups, but there are also times of quiet. People in the industry will have heard about the concept of crypto winter now for some time. And of course it impacts us because it impacts our clients. So our clients, who are some phenomenal businesses who've seen growth numbers that most of us could only ever dream of, are now seeing just smaller transaction volumes, and so are we. Through that. And that's not just in crypto. We see it outside when we're also serving FX remitters. And so when the exchange rate changes, like there's another market exposure in some ways for us. And of course, lots of people who have nothing to do with sort of market facing stuff, we think, until it turns out that you're reliant on funding, and the funding sources are highly market sensitive. And so people who might have been in conversations with us saying, we need you because in October we're going to launch this new product, and in December comes the second product, and we're going to be moving 1 million transactions a month in June next year, might have just said, we're going to just hold on some of these things. So things have slowed down from a volume perspective in certain months, but things really comes and goes. I mean, it was even in our longest stint of like best ever month following best ever month, there
you're always wary, right?
It's always something. You never you go, what, success guaranteed. You always worry. You always look at things to make sure you understand your clients, you understand what they're going through and what they need. Hopefully you can deliver more often than not. So we're optimistic. Monoova is well capitalized. We haven't had to lay anyone off. We're still growing our team, in fact, by really quite a few positions. And so we look at FY23, this financial year, with a lot of optimism and I think a sense that this year is working in an environment of headwinds where a lot of our clients are maybe readjusting their projections. But having said that, they're good ideas. These businesses weren't conjured out of nothing and then sort of fall over with a wind gush. These are people who have carved out strengths in their markets. Sometimes they are the market leaders in a niche that has generated an enormous value to lots of people. And so supporting that means supporting them in the times when things are slower and when things are faster. And we're going to be here this year, we're going to be here next year, we're going to be here beyond that.
Awesome. Well, let's focus on this year. What are you kind of most excited about, or what are you hoping to get from this year's Intersekt?
Intersekt is, you and I talked about this earlier, it has really, I think, found the way that this community wants and needs to meet. So it moved sort of early days. You mentioned 2018. I was even in 2017. My first Intersekt was at the ICC, whatever it's called, here in Melbourne. And it was, at that point, there were still stalls, people sort of giving you free pens and other things. And while
book in a demo.
Yeah, correct. And exactly, praying to the demo gods, as some of my dev team people say. And there is a role for that, but this here is really special. So people are here to exchange ideas. I've talked to some of my closest competitors here, and it always feels sincere. It feels open. You talk to regulators, you talk to foreign fintechs who are doing things in a different way, and you think, can we learn something from that? Can they learn something from us? And I think we leave every Intersekt with a sense of, wow, that's a great community, and we are greater yet because of this event. And for Monoova, FY23 is going to be a big year. We're launching a number of products. I mean, PayTo, obviously, much publicized by now. We have a few other domestic sort of payment rails things that we're launching. And also, we shouldn't forget that Monoova is now also doing FX. So, really doing that well is going to be important to us. And we're starting to go into the region. So lots of good things to happen. And in many ways, Intersekt feels like day one. Even though I know the financial year has gone on for 2 months already, this feels a bit like It's a before and after.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, mate, great to catch up with you.
Thanks, Hector.
Enjoy it. And I'm sure we'll have some fun at the VIP dinner.
I'm sure we will. And before.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for listening, and make sure to check out our other interviews from Intersekt. If you're coming back, thanks so much for your support. It really does mean a lot to us. And if you're new to the show, hit follow and please leave us a review. It really helps us promote the Aussie fintech ecosystem to a global audience. If you want to connect with me, reach out on LinkedIn and Twitter. And until the next one, keep safe. Fintech Chatter is presented by Tier 1 People, leaders in fintech executive search. We'll help you build a world-class fintech venture by connecting you to world-class talent. And you can find out more at tier1people.com.